Thank you very much for welcoming a police officer to your stage, Jeff. That's an honor and a privilege.
It's an honor to have you.
Thank you. Jeff likes to tell a story about landing airplanes with the U.S. Air Force in Haiti to bring doctors to help people. And if you're interested about how we're trying to accomplish that with the community and the police together, you're in the right venue here. So how many people would like to meet a real, true RCMP Mountie from Canada today?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we would.
Well, I'll tell you what we've got in store here for everybody today. What you're seeing here is about a vision of many people for about 10 years, and it's about the success and safety of our communities globally. And with the advent of social media, the pyramid is upside down now. We used to have the chief at the top and the Indians at the bottom. Now, the people like myself, the constables, we have a greater voice, and we're getting a bigger and greater voice, and we're having a connection with the people. And I've got some very special guests with me here today. A school safety hall monitor named Dave Bradley, who's pictured there on the right with the beard. And I have a gentleman online right now on Google Talk by the name of Eric Rower, who is a lawyer. He's an education lawyer and an internet lawyer, and he specializes in internet and education law, and he's going to talk about some legal issues. And I've got a cop. So what you've got here is you've got a cop that's, for the past 6 or 7 years, had a lot of youth in the community and adults in the community as friends in social media. And at first, when they said, nobody will become your friend out there because you're a cop, I said, yes, they will. Now we have an abundance of friends, and to the point where we can't add any more friends on Facebook, because people will come to you if you offer them success and safety. And case in point, we now have over 300 officers in Toronto Police that are trained on a 3-day training course led by Sergeant Tim Burrows to use tools like Twitter and Facebook effectively to connect with our communities, not to spy on people, but to connect with our communities for success and safety. I have a secondary, my role in Toronto Police is I work alongside Sergeant Tim Burrows in the Corporate Communications Bureau now. I've 23 years as a police officer in 2 major urban police services, and it's boots to the ground in social media. It's patrolling the virtual world, just like we patrol the world outside. So today when we were here in New York City, there's a lot of traffic cops out there with their white gloves on, and so I decided to wear my white gloves. So essentially, to give you a visual, is when we're doing this, and we're doing this, that's what we're doing in social media now. So what you see on the street is what you see in social media for the Toronto Police Service and 300 officers, and we're hoping that this is going to grow worldwide. So this is a really, really, really exciting opportunity for us, because we can't do it alone. And I'd just like to bring out a few of my friends. I've got an RCMP officer who we've just trained in social media. One of 3 RCMP officers out of 27,000 officers in Canada that have now taken this training.
What does RCMP stand for?
Royal Canadian Mounted Police. So what I'd like to do just before we get to our message here today is I would like to bring out my friend Constable Valerie Paradis to the stage. Where this is all going to fit in is Valerie's not going to speak today. She lost her voice because she had such a great time last night here in New York City. But this is Youth Day Global in Toronto. It's something that was started in Toronto, and the organizers want to take it throughout the world. And we had a Mountie out there with us in full dress uniform, which is very much unheard of, and she was tweeting and using Facebook. So Valerie is definitely an example of leading edge for our National Police Service, and I'm honored to share the stage with her. I've got another special guest out here, and he is the intern for Youth Day, and his name is Logan Schonk. Logan, can you please come out here for a minute? Logan is going to finish up our talk, and he's going to tell you exactly what Youth Day is and how excited he is to be here. Those are two other community members, Claire Crossley, single moms with big balls, who's in the audience here, and she's right down there, and Antonetta Condello, who volunteers out in our community. I'm known as Graffiti BMX Cop, and you might say, what is that? And I say it is success and safety, and when you get Graffiti BMX Cop, you get this. And I apologize for the picture being small, but it says, us, we, you, me, together. There's also a sign up there that says Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers is a community-led program with 1,300 programs in the world in partnership with the police and media for anonymous tips to prevent and solve crime. By using a strategy of relationships and technology, we tripled the tips anonymously into Crime Stoppers in a 2-year period, and we had 1/4 of the staff working in the program as what it was before. And that includes using Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and now Google+. And what we're trying to do is replicate that community success and safety model throughout the whole world, and I volunteer as the social media advisor for Crime Stoppers International, which is all volunteer registered charities at the local level trying to help prevent and solve crime. We can stop a terrorist attack if we work together. The model is helping to stop, solve, and prevent crime together, and that's where we're going with this. So what I've done today is, I think I've got a line out here, and I've got a friend of mine who is the lawyer on the line. Eric, can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, Eric Rohr is in the Maritimes in Canada right now. That's his picture. He's on Google Talk. He is going to speak with us about everything that I've just talked about, because the gentleman that I'm going to bring out last here has probably broken every rule in the education world that you can break. The cop that's standing here has probably broken every rule that a cop can break in relation to the use of social media. And our talk today is called Using Relationships and Technology to Save Lives. You're going to hear Mr. Dave Bradley today, who is a hero, talk about how he's saved 15 kids from committing suicide by having relationships with kids in social media and in real life. And this is going to be exciting because you're going to have Mr. Eric Rohr, who's actually going to say that as a lawyer and as an internet lawyer and a specialist in law, that this is okay. So what I decided to do is play a quick video of Eric because we videotaped him live at a presentation, and this is going to be 1 minute and 39 seconds of exactly what a lawyer needs to say in order to empower a cop like me and a school safety hall monitor like Dave Bradley and a cop like Valerie to actually keep a young man like Logan here safe growing up and lead him to the success that he's at today sitting on this stage. So I'm just going to play quickly this video for 1 minute and 39 seconds, and then Eric is actually going to speak and fill in a few of the gaps.
In the country in terms of police work and school prevention. We also have Dave Bradley at the back of the room. Dave Bradley is the hall monitor at Earl Haig. Dave Bradley does phenomenal work every day, and I just want to briefly talk about Dave and what he does. Dave, I mean, as you know, all know, the College of Teachers has an advisory saying teachers should not be friends with students using on social media. Dave is an exception. Dave's got how many? 3,000 friends on Facebook, and Dave has been phenomenally successful, extraordinarily successful in intervening early on, preventing incidences, getting involved with students in terms of solving incidences. He has great relationships with the students at his school. I actually am an Earl Head alumni. I read all of Dave's Facebook comments and see his pictures in terms of the great things going on at Earl Head. But he's got a phenomenal relationship. And one of my points is that although the College of Teachers has clearly said that we should not have our teachers on Facebook and using social media, this is a phenomenally effective tool. And if you have people like Dave Bradley and others, perhaps social workers, hall monitors, guidance counselors who are specially trained, we can have a carve-out of individuals who befriend students and can develop these relationships. And it's going to be a phenomenally effective tool for crime prevention and for school safety.
Eric, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Eric, do you want to, I'm just going to bring out Dave Bradley. Dave, can you come out here, please? A warm welcome for Dave Bradley, our school safety hall monitor. Dave is going to tell you how he does this and why. I think you've already heard the why, but just before that, Eric, is there something you would like to tell our 300 delegates here via Google Talk?
Well, just number one, I'm very sorry I can't be there live to speak with you and to see the 300 folks in New York City. Number two, in my view, and I'll just reiterate that being aware of the importance of social media not only is important from a teaching and learning perspective, but as you'll hear from Dave Bradley, very much a safe schools perspective. There's clear, legal liability issues and obligations for educators, and although we have to be careful about boundaries and careful about having educators directly contacting students, in our view, there is an ability to carve out specialists in social media to have relationships with students like Dave Bradley. So having people, like I'll call them school online support persons, who have special training, who can develop relationships with students, can develop a protocol that is safe and secure, that is a very effective way to ensure community safety and to prevent crime. So I think that's a good way to summarize it, and I'll let Dave Bradley present his experiences at the Toronto Public Board.
Thank you very much, Eric, for joining us. We appreciate it. And just so you know what you're watching out there in the internet and here, there's a blog here that's got some information on it, exactly what Eric Rohr's talking about. There's 2 posts, and as Dave talks, I'm going to skip back and forth through posts and a few photos, and you're going to see Dave in real life.
Hello. So I work at the Toronto District School Board as a hall monitor, and I've done this for 20 years. My main goal in everything I do, kind of like a fireman when there's no fires, is to prevent fires. So if there's nothing going on, I go out and I try and stop things. I know time is moving on, but there was one story I wanted to tell. Earlier this year, the dance teacher at the school politely sucked me into the ballet, as scary as this might be. So there I am in rehearsals. By the way, I don't dance. Dance terrifies me. It's a horrible thing. But I can do what needs to be done. Anyway, I'm in rehearsal with this class, and some girl who I didn't even see wandered in, probably raced out the door when she saw what was going on. But later that night, she wrote to me, said, "What is it you do?" And I said, "Well, that's an interesting question. I try and figure that out every day." But then, after a little quizzing, she then decided to tell me what was up with her. And it wasn't good. She was cutting herself, all kinds of things going on, and she was in need of help. But it was because of the ballet that she decided that I was a reasonable and viable option to come to. And I must say, she's only in grade 9. It's still a work in progress, but we're doing okay. Another thing, of course, is, as Eric knows, is that the TDSB and others say that, we shouldn't do this. And that the only reason that anybody, here it comes, Scott, is online is because they want to groom kids. Well, I don't think there's anybody here that could accuse me of knowing anything about grooming. Many things I've heard today have inspired me. I hear about people, go to the standardized test. One thing I think of the driving people who, they teach people how to pass the test. They don't teach them how to drive. And anybody in a school can help people learn to be better people and how to drive and not just pass the damn test. Now, thank you. And you know what? When I think of liability, and I know I've talked to Eric about this, I have thought for a while that right now they say, oh, well, you could leave yourself open to being liable. But you know what? In the future, and I think back to my first days in high school when I got a Commodore PET computer, and I handed in an assignment that I had printed out on a horrible dot matrix printer that was probably noisier than hell. Anyway, the teacher would not accept it. It wasn't fair. Now, I don't think you can do anything without handing it in printed. So just as that has turned around, oh dear God, I do believe, that's my car. I do believe that sooner or later, the liability is going to completely flip around where if you're not online, you will be deemed liable for not being around. Anyway, basically what it comes down to is it's all about inspiration and working with people, not against them, and helping, listening, caring, and figuring out what is going to help this person at this time, in this space, at this place, and do it. And if it's something I can handle on my own, I will. If I have to summon every resource there is available to me, and even some that aren't, I will do it. Whatever it takes. And I know the most important thing I will ever do is the next thing, whatever that is. But I see it is time to sit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dave. We've got 2 minutes left, and what we're going to do is we really believe in the concept of success and safety. And as you might have seen a little picture that popped up here earlier of Logan. This is not Logan. That picture right there represents bobbleheads. It represents social media, internet, and law enforcement going forward. It looks like the tourist little thing that you buy in the tourist shop. It's not. It's real. It's Valerie. She's here. She wants to connect. Her Twitter is Valerie, RCMP, GRC. GRC means Gendarmerie Royale du Canada. RCMP means Royal Canadian Mounted Police, and Valérie est ici avec nous aujourd'hui. Valerie is here. Please connect. Now, what we're going to connect for, this is Crime Stoppers USA, 1-800-222-TIPS, anonymous tips help. This is the faces of success and safety. This is our life, and we need to do what Eric Rohr is saying, what Dave Bradley's saying here, and what the police from social media, internet, and law enforcement and Crime Stoppers, mostly led by Laurie Stevens out of Boston, LawsCom, is doing. Us, we, you, me, together. The state of now. And we're going to, when Logan was given this speaker pass, a month ago, he didn't know what the 140 conference was. And he's sitting on the stage, and we want to let the people speak. We want our future to speak. And welcome to Logan Shonk.
Hi, guys. I'm, as Scott was saying, I'm the intern for Youth Day Global. And ultimately, right now, I'm a university student studying at UBC. And I want to be able to work for the United Nations in relations with human rights. And the program, the organization, nonprofit organization that's based out of Toronto, that's been there for six years. This was our 6th year. It happens every third Sunday in July, and it brings in an annual 30,000 people. It was created in an aspiration and hopes for the youth to pick something different from a gun and art. Arts, music, dance, poetry, what have you. So it's the opportunity for the youth to have their human rights back. And ultimately, we like to think locally and act, how's that saying go? Act globally, think locally. And so New York City is one of the places that we'd like to bring it to for next summer. And so the whole connections with that happening. And I would also like to really, before I forget, I would like to thank Scott and everyone else from organizing, giving me this opportunity to tell everyone about Youth Day Global and what our initiative is. And being a non-traditional nonprofit organization, we have bracelets with our website, which is youthdayglobal.com. If you'd like, I'll be handing those around while the next speakers are happening. And the Twitter for us is @youthdayglobal.com.
Thank you very much for having us and listening to us. We look forward to connecting with you. And thank you, Jeff Pulver, for changing the world.